All right, on this episode of Bowks Talking Bouts, excited to be talking to an individual set to headline BKFC 41, which transpires on April the 28th, and a very intriguing fight as Mike Perry and Luke Rockhold knuckle up and toe the line, and great getting to have Mike on the show. How are you doing, man?
Um, I had a rough week. I guess best way to start off is to shout out my guy, Michael Milmerstadt. We had, last week, he passed away. He was a police deputy and a SWAT team member, and he loved fighting. He used to do mixed martial arts, and he was getting back into it, and he was getting a fight. He signed a fight, and he was training, and he had got, just scar tissue in his brain, and he had trauma to the brain from training, and they did brain surgery overnight, and he's got a family. He's got a wife and 3 baby boys, and he didn't pull through the brain surgery, and he passed away. And been going back and forth to the hospital and seeing his family, and we made a GoFundMe, and a lot of people have shown a lot of support. It's been a tough week with just this happening, and he's he's the toughest guy I ever knew, and it's crazy that it happened to him. I got videos of him punching me in the face and the head really hard. We all know I've been in some wars, and but just been lots of support though from a lot of people around the country, and but shout out to Michael Milmerstadt and his family.
I'm really sorry to hear about that, man, because I had noticed some recent posts about that, like you were talking about just the lengthy history. Like I saw one of the throwback, fight clips with him and stuff like that. I mean, I don't even really have a question in any of this, just really my condolences to you and really specifically the family too, man.
Thank you.
I guess to that point, maybe this is like a question that doesn't even need to be asked. Like, is this next fight being done in his memory? Like, are you kind of looking at it through that lens or not so much?
Yes, he is definitely a big part of it. This month of training and boxing and everything is going to be pretty intense. And I definitely plan on honoring him in the fight, and considering, that he had this issue and he loved fighting so much, he wanted to get back in there more than anything. And so, he wouldn't have been afraid, and definitely want to honor him with that. And for myself and for my family, it's the same as it's always been. I've always fought for family, for myself, and he was my brother anyways, so it's just kind of added to the family spectrum.
I mean, that loyalty seems to radiate through a lot of people you even still train with. Like I was seeing Spartan Life on Instagram a bit ago, kind of talking about the old days where you guys would throw down on the tarps and stuff like that. So it seems like you have that core nucleus of people all throughout the journey.
Yeah, it's a big family. We've been around each other for the last 10 or 15 years on this journey of mixed martial arts, fighting, and boxing, and you just don't see it coming until it hits home. And once it hits home, I just feel like a lot of fighters say things that they don't truly understand, and there's no way of understanding, I guess, until it's really a part of it and it's happening for real. So, guys, I was the guy that didn't touch gloves, and I was the guy, who said, I'm coming to destroy or this or that, and I never really liked kill or be killed. I never really liked, when guys say, I'm prepared to die, or I'll die for this. And I'm always like, no, I'll live for this. Like, I'll live for it. You know, I'll do what I got to do to be smart, protect myself. And, you know, just as an example, like the Caleb Plant versus David Benavidez fight, if you watch the first 6-7 rounds, Plant was very sharp and very smart defensively, but he didn't have a whole lot of offensive. And David Benavidez' pressure just started to build up around that 7th round, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and the pressure was too much. He didn't finish him, but he started putting that damage on him, and Benavidez didn't seem to have a mark on him. So, you know, I plan to – I only know how to fight one way. That's my way. That's the way I've always done it. It's platinum pressure. I plan to do that and, you know, be true to myself and honor the game and, you know, touch gloves or, you know, knuckles. And, you know, I'm grateful to have a very powerful opponent in the ex-world champion and Luke Rockhold. And, you know, it's all respect and sport and technique. And I have a game plan for how to work this in a very smart manner, for how to fight smart and how to win. I still will be aggressive. That is definitely a way to win, you know. But it's just like when I hear these guys say things that they don't understand, and I think of The Art of War, General Tao, where he says, once you know how to fight, you won't have to fight. And that just kind of, I don't know, it kind of just all goes together in my head that, you know, I don't need to be angry or anything. I have fun with fighting. I smile and I enjoy the show and the entertainment. And I put my whole life into something that, you know, can be taken away in an instant. And, you know, there's a lot more to fight for than just for money or for the fight itself or for, you know, even for family. You know, there's your own self, you know, your own mind and mental game. And it's so pure. Fighting is so pure and just, you know, it's not a game.
I mean, it's very interesting what you're saying because it seems like very, I guess, mature and composure-minded, and I think a lot of that commentary has come from this, you know, ever-expanding family unit, and also congrats in that regard. I noticed a new, you know, child added to the fold a bit earlier this month. Like, is that like a big reason for that? Because I feel like the quote-unquote Mike Perry of old would maybe see some of these Luke Rockhold headlines and, you know, go off and, you know, everything like that, but I feel like you're much more composed and measured now.
Well, I understand that the entertainment business and yes, we like to make jokes, but as I've gotten older and I've been winning fights, you know, I honestly feel like looking back on my career is a lot of the issues were, you know, I was kind of digging my own grave sometimes when I opened my mouth, and I'm very careful about what I say now, and I choose my jokes carefully. I want them to be factual. I want them to be true and honest. And Luke is a bigger opponent than I've ever faced. He's a larger man, have much heavier weight class than I'm used to, and you know, I'm looking to be sharp and go up and be strong as normal. And, you know, I guess I need to be stronger than normal. But, you know, obviously I want to entertain and be fun. And as, you know, as this month goes on, you know, my life goes on this month, and I will find ways to just be myself and be honest and truthful, and you know that some of that could be funny. Right now is not really a funny time for me. So and like you brought up my daughter, when I had my son, things changed. I really got into gear and fixed some things in fighting, and fighting kind of fixed some things for me. It brought me a sport that I was really better at. I really love to fight with the hands. I love to throw hands. I love to box, and we're skipping all the gloves and going straight to the blood and guts, and with bare knuckle, and I just love, mano a mano is hand to hand, and like I got it. I've had a great chin my entire career. I'm hoping I still do, and I want to remain vigilant and tough, and I know tough means taking a beating sometimes to give one back, and that's not always the best. And I want to be smart as well. I try to hold on to what intelligence I do have. I do like to say that, because I do believe in fighting, guys like to make CTE jokes or whatever, but I like to say it's, I've gotten some sense knocked into me, and I just think that's so true. And when I get blasted, sometimes I get smarter, I get better in the fight, I make adjustments and I adapt. And with my daughter being born now, it's crazy, because when I saw my son, there was this change in me. And then when I was having my daughter, I was like, I don't know how this is going to be different. I already have a baby that's counting on me. But when I saw my daughter, I don't know, I can't explain it. It's just this different energy that added to the already energy that I have. So, I feel very confident in my abilities when it comes to fighting. And, I think I'm really good at fighting. And there's so many ways to think about it on how to do it the right ways. And, at the end of the day, when it comes time to step in the ring, I will just go with the flow and do what I do. And it's almost like it's not in my control. I mean, I try. I remember things in the MVP fight where, he tried to assert his dominance, and I saw a couple of things he was doing. Like, every time the ref came in between us, he would push me. So after he pushed me like twice, I wouldn't step back if the ref stepped in between us. I started pushing the ref and him, and like I had the energy to do it. And I made sure, like, if he pushed me, he pushed himself back. Because if his hand touched me, I pushed him back through his own force. And like, in fighting, it's like you hold a grudge. You don't give your props to your opponent until the final bell is done, and then you can say, speak your mind a little bit. But before that final bell, it's all about me, just kind of asserting some dominance and showing my skills and showing why I'm the better fighter in this situation until it's over, and until that final bell, or until I knock him out. I will be hard on him.
And I mean, a lot of interesting insights there. Like, you talk about like trying to, be defensively responsible, but also obviously effective offensively. And I've talked to some other, BKFC fighters about this too, because like the, I guess, defensive considerations in this sport are pretty curious, because, gloved boxing, there's a lot of, defensive aspects that you can utilize there that are very much not there in bare knuckle. So like, obviously not giving away like too many, I guess, insights per se, but just like, in terms of like the defensive aspects of bare knuckle, like is a lot of it predicated on like even more like lateral movement and stuff like that, or what defensive considerations would be at play in bare knuckle versus some other sports you've been in?
I definitely am focused a lot on the footwork, using my feet and picking and choosing my forwards and backwards or side to sides and angles and I head movement. I obviously a big thing with head movement with me is not always moving it, because you don't want to run into a shot. I'd rather you throw a shot at me where you think my head's going to be, and I only move it back an inch or two. And if you touch me, I might be close enough to reach out and hit you right back with a counter. And, in boxing, you get these great big gloves that allow you to really defend a lot. And in bare knuckle, it's a lot tighter and a lot smaller gap. They can get through a very small gap in bare knuckle boxing. So, defensively, like the shoulder roll defense and all that, or blocking with your hands like this, might not always be the best. And, when you do put your gloves up, your body is quite exposed. And, I fight fearlessly. That's how I've always fought. I am fearless, and I like to see the shots coming, I guess, because they say the ones that hurt you are the ones you don't see coming. So I'm looking right down the barrel.
That's kind of interesting, because I was, checking out your, podcast with Theo Vaughn, and you were kind of talking about how your dad was a bit of a wild dude. Like, is that always something that's been interwoven into who you are? Like, you talk about, I guess, just your readiness for this kind of stuff and the particular, I guess, temperament and mentality you have. Has this always been at the nucleus of who you are?
Yeah. My girl was just telling me the other day about how when she met my dad, she didn't expect, like, some of the stories. She didn't expect him to be like that. And, I guess now he just kind of looks like an older man, an old man, and he's funny and he's playful. But he is the biggest savage I have ever met. He will sit on the couch all day, lay on the couch, feet up, take the whole couch, make us sit on the floor, smoke cigarettes, doesn't drink a lot. He'll drink every now and then, but, and when he does drink, he can put it down. And he'll get drunk and be throwing up in the bathroom or whatever. We've all been there probably. And he'll get up off the couch, shirtless with some jean shorts on, no shoes, walk outside barefoot, and he'll beat your ass in his front yard. My dad, I miss my dad. It's been a little bit since I've seen him. He's been talking to me since this thing happened and since his death of my friend. And, I enjoy so much more the positive feelings in life, but I definitely, I am an angry guy. I'll be positive and stuff, and but I'll still take things out on people sometimes, I guess. I don't know. Like the other night recently, there was this guy, he walks in the elevator with me and my girl. We get in the elevator, I turn around, I was lit. I was drunk. We were in we were in Clearwater, Florida, and partying at the beach. And for my girl was at her friend's bachelorette party, but, I stay around. I was the security for the party. And we were going back to our hotel room, and we get in the elevator, and I turn around and I see this guy kind of, as he's walking into the elevator, he's looking at my girl. And I just start staring at him. And I see him out the corner of his eye kind of go like that, look over it, and then he realized that I was staring at him, and he didn't look at me yet. And he just kept looking away, and then I kept staring at him. So then he looks at me, and he said, I don't know if the elevator opened, and he also had said something. And so there was 2 elevators we had to get in, right? We go from the parking floor to the 5th floor, and then we go from the 5th floor to our floor. We were on the 10th floor or something. And so we get in the first one, and my girl's got her shoes off, and he's like something about, oh yeah, I should have took my shoes off. And I was like, yeah, if you feeling like a bitch, bitches' feet get hurt, they like take their shoes off and walk around. That's fine. That's what bitches do. Men, on the other hand, they gotta keep their fucking shit on, And then we get in the other elevator, and I saw him look, and then he looks at me, and the elevator door opens, and he's like, have a good night. And I was just like, fuck you. Because he was like, it was fake. You know what I mean? He didn't want me to have a good night, man. Fuck that guy, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, that sounded like it could have turned into like a fight circus kind of event. Like have you get in there in the elevator and throw down. Maybe you can do that for fight circus, like a 1-fight contract.
Listen, man, he wasn't going to fucking touch me, and I was going to talk a little bit of shit. Listen, freedom of speech in America. I can say fuck you. You can say fuck me. I'm not going to hit you because I'm not an idiot. I'm just having fun with my being drunk. And, if I can cut you out enough, if I can say something to you that makes you want to hit me, then I'm going to defend myself, and it's going to be pretty easy. I'm not going to, I've been there before where, we all saw that video, and that man, all those people were kind of ganging up on me, and then the man started talking shit to me about how I talk, and then I was drunk and out of control, and that was a long time ago, and I've done some work since then, but just because I say fuck you doesn't make me a bad person. Maybe I'm dealing with some things, maybe I'm going through a hard time. I didn't do nothing to that guy, he just gotta think about where he's looking, don't be looking at my girl, or, don't be looking like a little weirdo, and I'm not going to tell you, fuck you. And, I know, like I said, I made that mistake, and I'm not going to make that mistake again. But if somebody puts their hands on me, and besides, the guy in that video, I had a lawyer with that. There was a case, and that guy grabbed my face, he stuck his fingers in my eyes and fish hooked my mouth, so I hit that guy, and that's what happened that night, so obviously I don't want that to happen again like that. I would definitely try some more jiu-jitsu motive, maybe trip somebody to the ground if they want to act tough. I don't know, man, I'm kind of talking myself into a frenzy here. I do still like the fight. I'm still Mike Perry.
I mean, it seemed like based on what you told me, you handled the situation well, but just in kind of mentioning some of those, past, I guess, controversies, for lack of a better way to phrase it, how, I guess, gratifying is it to see, your present status right now? Because it seems like you're, the, face of BKFC. You see these different articles popping up, oh, maybe Darren Till will come in, or Nate Diaz. It seems like you're the guy everyone wants to fight. In the context of that journey we're talking about, how gratifying is this present kind of spot you're in?
Well, it was very nice to hear you say it that way, how you worded it. I'm glad that people are taking notice of my success. I may joke around, life is to be is to have fun. That's the best way to live life, is to be happy and try to have fun. And I've been enjoying my success, and I try to keep myself in a winning mindset. And through this hard time right now, it's like I've been, I do really small things, I mess with numbers, or if I do something, I'm kind of OCD. I'm like, I have to do it this many times just to feel like it's the right number of times, so that I feel like I'm still in my winning mindset. And then things start happening in those numbers, and I make sure. And then, recently I just kind of was losing grip on that winning mindset, because I would rather just do the right thing. And even if it's wrong for a winning mindset, or if you're going to get beat up, because there's other things in life than winning and losing or fighting, and you know, life itself is more precious. And but I still have this fight. I'm still in danger, and I still have to stay on top of myself to be in a successful winning mindset. And, you know, I have this month to really hone that in and really focus it and train and work on still being great and trying to speak properly. You know, I think that's a big part of it too. Like, I try not to sound like a complete idiot or douchebag, no matter, even if I do tell a story about telling a guy in the elevator, fuck you, and he told me to have a good day. You know, that one guy says, tell him, you know, be a man, tell him not to tell you what the fuck to do. And, you know, I want what's best for my family, and sometimes even they piss me off, and I go, well, watch this, I'm going to embarrass y'all, and I'm going to act a damn fool. And if you bring it out of me, damn it, I'm one of the biggest fools out here.
Hey, man, it is what it is. I mean, like you're talking about, it seems like there's a lot of growth to be had, and you're conscious of a lot of this stuff, so I think that's what's most important. But I also, you know, want to be mindful of your time, like I was saying from the top. I'm sure there's a ton of questions I could ask you, but just want to be mindful of that schedule and also just the current situation. Like, again, my condolences to your friend and everything, for sure. But just to that point, man, is there any, like, parting last thought you might want to add as we're kind of wrapping up, though?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to all the support that we've received in Orlando, to the Orange County Sheriff's Department, for everything they were doing for Michael Milmerstad, and my support system and Styles Make Fights. They make my gear. SMF Chris and Market Cypher, Crypto Face, BKFC and David Feldman, David Cranston, Technique Boxing and JT, James Taylor, and you know, everyone who's been helping me, Alex Aspar Nicholson, and you know, APK, Orlando, Michigan, still supporting. I haven't been there in a long time. I like Florida living. And, you know, all these guys who give me a platform and an interview and take time to listen to me, and all my fans who may watch, or, you know, I know they're excited about the fight. And no matter, one thing about me, man, no matter what has ever been said during build up for a fight, I always come in and I leave that shit at the door when I step foot in the ring, and I just fight.
And that's going to go down April 28th, and very much excited for this BKFC 41 fight against Luke Rockhold.
I'm pretty sure. I saw one other person say the 28th, I think, but the fight is April 29th in Denver, Colorado. BKFC main event, Platinum Mike Perry versus Luke Rockhold. Puke cock mold.
Yeah, I got to give the Tapology guys some flack for that, but no, just kidding. I do appreciate, though, you making the time again, man, and just, yeah, all the best. Thank you.
Shout out to the USA, man. Thank you.